everyone's going to be like, oh, well, it's 1-1 in MMA. There should be a trilogy.
I don't keep score. I settle them.
Without me
now
saying,
it's settled. Look, I gave him a fast track to the belt. I got the immediate rematch because of what I've done in this game. I won the belt against Kevin. I defended against Rob, Romero, Costa, Vittori, Rob again, Cannonier. That's 7. I did the hard yards and I earned my fucking rematch. You know, now he's got to do the hard yards if he wants to do that.
Off of Israel Adesanya's magnificent win, a truly great knockout victory over a longtime rival in Alex Pereira, something a lot of people did not expect would happen, and he pulled it off. Not only physically, but even mentally going into the fight. A lot of people had a lot of questions about how Adesanya will look inside that fight. How could he get over the 3 losses to the guy over the span of so many years, especially getting finished in his last one against Pereira, and of course had to deal with all the fans, memeing him and people doubting him and all this stuff. He was put into a position that we haven't seen anybody else in. So a lot of people did question his mentality going into the fight. How could he possibly be okay mentally going into it? And he showed that he was far better mentally than anybody expected. He knew exactly what he had to do out there. He played it very intelligently with his baiting tactics and knocked out one of the scariest strikers we've ever seen. And really makes this matchup, this story between these two titans, very fun and very interesting for the fans. But there was one thing that I see a lot of fans right now questioning about Israel Adesanya. Why is he saying, after beating Pereira, that there's not going to be an immediate rematch? He's saying that the story's closed, or, the chapter's closed. I understand what he's saying. He gave Pereira a fast track to a title. Pereira only had 3 wins before he fought Adesanya, and if it wasn't Adesanya who was the champion, Pereira would probably not be fighting for the belt that quickly. But the fact that it was Adesanya holding it, there was that storyline, there was a fight to sell, and Adesanya was all on board. He lost to him, he got the immediate rematch because he was a longtime champion, not because he has some kind of history with Pereira. I think there was a bit of an element to that when it comes to selling the fight, because Pereira versus Adesanya will always do very well in the numbers. But just like Adesanya said, I think it had more to do with the fact that he was a longtime champion. He was very dominant in the middleweight division. But now that he beat Pereira, Pereira was not a dominant champion. He hasn't been in the UFC that long. He only has 4 total fights in there. He doesn't even have double-digit professional MMA fights yet. There is no logic to give Pereira that next title shot when you talk about like a meritocracy. He didn't earn an immediate rematch. I 100% understand that, because that is the truth of it if you're looking at it through like a meritocracy. And this meritocracy seems to be the main reason why he says that Pereira needs to earn another shot, not given to him. Because the guy he wants to fight the most right now is Dricus du Plessis, because they have like this beef going on right now. And Adesanya said that he wants to beat Dricus so badly, but Dricus will have to earn that beating. Adesanya's answer to both Pereira, the toughest guy in the division for him, and one of the easiest guys in the division for him that he wants to fight the most, is that they both have to earn the shot. And I like this, honestly. I like that mentality if he actually is going to keep it. If he actually keeps his word on that. The next guy that deserves the title shot is going to be his next opponent, then it would have to be Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker has earned the shot more than anybody else. He's done more than anybody else. And if that's what Adesanya wants to do moving forward, we're probably going to see the 3rd fight between Izzy and Whittaker. And in the meantime, you got Pereira, you got Dricus, you got Khamzat, potentially Paulo Costa, because there are rumors, I don't know how true they are, I think they're coming from Chael, that Khamzat is going to be fighting Paulo Costa, and that's going to happen in Abu Dhabi. I don't even know if that's a real thing. So these guys are going to have to fight right now, earn that shot, while Whittaker should be Adesanya's next opponent. But the issue is, the sport is not necessarily a meritocracy when you have a superstar in a division. Things change. When there's a fight that you can sell, that's going to be priority over just earning a title shot, right? He's going to be offered the biggest fights. He's going to be offered the biggest money fights if they're there. So it does change it a little bit, and I don't expect Adesanya to turn down a fight, right? Like Dana said, Adesanya has never turned down a fight. He's accepted every single fight. He'll fight anybody. So I think if they tell Adesanya that his next fight is Pereira again, I think he would take it. He's definitely not scared. He fought the guy 4 times, and he just beat him by knockout. Definitely not scared, and I do think he would take it at the end of the day, but there is a question that really boggles everybody's mind. Why is Adesanya the first one to be so against the fight? We all know it's a very difficult matchup, no matter how many times they fight each other. They're both a problem for each other. We know that. We've seen it 4 times already. In every single fight, both guys had to really dig deep to get the win. So they are very even in terms of what they could do against each other. But I'm going to have to defend Adesanya here. We know he's not scared of him. And we know that he knows it's a difficult fight for himself, right? He fought him 4 times and just knocked him out. Of course, he's not scared of Pereira. He knows it's difficult, but a difficult fight does not scare someone like Adesanya. And the reason why I know that is because remember when Adesanya called out Yoel Romero? when Yoel Romero was looked at as the boogeyman. Keep Romero away from him. That's what everybody was saying. Adesanya is good, but just keep that ageless mutant away from him. From then on, I knew Adesanya would not be scared of anybody. I don't think that has anything to do with him saying that he's not going to fight Pereira immediately next. I think he's trying to keep the integrity of the division and not make it crazy. A lot of the fans are thinking that it doesn't feel right though, because Pereira has beaten him 3 times in combat sports and they're 1-1 with each other in MMA. So no matter which way you look at it, either Pereira's up, he's up on Adesanya when we look at just combat sports, and then if you just look at MMA, they're even with each other. So they have to settle this rivalry. The next fight between them two will settle it. That's how most people are looking at it. And honestly, it does feel right to see the 3rd MMA fight between them two, especially with the fact that not many guys are earning a title shot right now besides Whittaker, and Whittaker already fought this guy twice and lost to him twice. So it would make sense actually to have Pereira fight him again because of the fact that they have history with each other, and Adesanya lost to him already. But at the same time, I have to respect him trying to keep integrity here. He wants the guy who has earned the title shot, and I can never disagree with a champion who says that, because that's the right way to go about it. The only thing though in the sport today is that a lot of times it's up to what the fans want. And I ran some polls here. Do the fans agree with Adesanya? Do they agree that the guy who's earned the title shot next should get it? They actually do not agree at all. They completely disagree on the whole opposite side of the spectrum. This is going for Pereira fans. This is going for Adesanya fans. The vast majority of fans that I have polled here in the last 4 hours, I'm not even going to wait any longer because it's not going to change. There's a guy who's greatly in the lead here and nobody else is really close. Out of 14,000 votes in the last 4 hours, by the time the day ends, we're probably going to get to like 30,000. I don't see it really changing. Hamza Chimaev is the guy that most fans want to see fight Adesanya next. And who's in second place? Doubling the guy in third place is Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira has doubled the votes of Dricus du Plessis, who's in third place, and then Robert Whittaker, who's the guy that has earned the title shot. The path that Adesanya wants for his next opponent is the guy that the least amount of fans want to actually see fight him. And the reason for that is it's the least fun fight to watch. We've seen Whittaker fight him twice already. First time he got knocked out. Second time he fought more conservatively, and a lot of fans did not think it was entertaining. With the other 3 guys, there is going to be somewhat of entertainment. We know what Pereira can do. We know what an Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira fight looks like already. And every single time they fight each other, it's fun. It's interesting. It's one of the best rivalries in combat sports. It sells well. Everybody loves it. That's like a go-to. And I honestly would think that the organization would offer that first before anything else because of how much people love seeing them two fight. Hamza Chimaev, of course, is in the number 1 spot because number 1, he's the biggest star out of these 4 guys, and he brings a very aggressive style that would, no matter what, make it entertaining, make it worth the fans' money. And ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what fans want the most. What do they get their money's worth? Hamza Chimaev is the fight that would get most fans their money's worth. With Hamza, he'll be going right after Adesanya from the beginning, non-stop action, trying to finish him the whole way, which is completely different than a lot of guys who have fought Adesanya recently, where they just sit back, they don't do too much, and people are kind of tired of that. They're tired of his opponents not engaging. It's up to them to make something happen, and they just don't do anything. So Hamza's a completely different beast, and he's going to put on guaranteed fireworks. As for Dricus du Plessis, I mean, he's probably going to get destroyed, but at least he's going to get destroyed swinging. We know that about him. Dricus does not back down. He goes right after you. He's not super technical. He's probably not on Adesanya's level, but at least we get to see a finish, and we at least get to see 2 guys try to hurt each other. And then for Whittaker, it's the most well-rounded and technical fight, but it's also the most tedious. It has most to do with micromanaging, and not too many people are going to find that kind of thing enjoyable to watch, and we've seen that happen already. So we'll see who he's offered, and we'll see his next move. And leave in the comments, what do you guys think? Who should he fight next? Which fight would you like to see the most? I personally don't mind too much, even though I favor Pereira more than anybody else right now as the next matchup for Adesanya, if Pereira's ready for it, because he does have to take that time off from the knockout loss. So in the meantime, if it's Whittaker, if it's Hamza, I don't really mind. And then if Pereira's able to get it later, maybe he needs 1 win and then he gets right into a title shot. I like any of these options.